Okay, welcome to the teacher side of Bloomboard. I'm Kaci Pool. I'm a teacher at George Elementary in Springdale. I've taught second grade for 3 years, and next year I'm going down to first grade with my team to loop back up the next year with the same group of kids. Today's session, I'm going to try to keep it quick, but is kind of half and half. I'm going to do the observation dashboard, kind of how to upload, tag evidence, and then switch over to the new Bloomboard resource site. I don't know if you've gotten the email, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So I'm going to go through the PowerPoint because I have specific images that will follow along with your, if you pull up the observation site. So if you click this link, it will take you to your Bloomboard. Whoops. Oh, right here. And then you go to your dashboard. Does anybody have trouble getting to that? You're good? Okay. All right, so when you first go to your dashboard, it kind of looks like this. You've got your profile, which you can change your picture, change, your name, however you want to do it. And then you've got your Bloom list, which is your to-do list, your list of current activities, such as your observations, video observations. And then you also have your goals that are on sticky notes at the bottom, along with learning recommendations, which is going to change June 30th. But we'll talk about that in a second. So if you go to creating a goal, so if you click on your blank or a blank one or one that you've already created, a goal, this is like your PGP goal for that year. You're going to click it, and then you can click an additional goal. I know that we only had one right here. So if you click it, you have to, when you first type in, you have to, well, mine's not going to work. Press enter for it to save. And then you go into view details. Right here. So when you want to align the indicators, the domains that you are focused on, right here it says which indicators does this goal align with. You click align this with your goals and scroll down to the Arkansas Educator rubric, which then scroll down again, and it has the domains with the boxes that you can check for those specific indicators that you are focusing on. Are there any questions about that? You have to click save, because if you don't click save, it's not going to save for you. So that's that. When you create a goal, you can, whenever you pull it up for the goal planning, there's areas of strengths and areas for growth. This is for you. It's for you to say what things are your strengths and what you need to work on that you can go back and reflect on later on. Let's see. Am I going too fast? Okay. So just like I did with mine, you clicked on view details and it comes up with your goal along with all of these questions right here. And to answer a question, you click on add the answer, and then you enter a response and then click save. Sorry. Right here. Again, we just talked about this, align the goals with the indicators. It's always the educator rubric for you, or for us. There's, the other rubrics like counselors, administrator, but it's always the very bottom educator rubric. And it's the same rubric throughout Bloomboard when you tag evidence and everything. Okay. Again, click save, or it will not save. Okay, any questions about your goals? It's kind of quick. Okay, if you go back to your dashboard, so if you want to go back to your dashboard, always click home. It'll take you right back to your dashboard. And the very first thing you see, or the big box, is the Bloom list to-do items. Does anybody use this? The Bloom list? No? Okay. This is basically a to-do list for you. Not based on your PGP. It's based on things that you want to practice in your classroom, or but it does not have to be specific to your goal. Like, it's not something you're going to go back and use to upload evidence for your goal. It's just a to-do list to check off that you would if you had a to-do list at home. The ones that are specific to your goal, they should be directly attached to the goal as the goal progress. And I'll show you at the bottom of the list in a second. To add items, you go to create a new item, and then it pops up right here, and it says, what do you need? You are to fill in the I will. And it can be, this one example says, set up a pen pal exchange for 2nd grade. Okay. And then it says, so that I can extend and integrate social studies and writing. Okay, so that's just like the purpose of it. Then how often? You get to choose between once, multiple times. You want to do it throughout the year. Like I did one that was 2 times a day for different discussion techniques is what I did for mine. You can even create a date, which is like the deadline date. So if you wanted it to be done by the end of August, you would select that date and then click create. Or you just press cancel and it doesn't save. And one thing about this, if you go like right here, so it doesn't delete any of your Bloom list items after you're done with them or completed them. So I had 2 right here. So this one, try Ms. Grubb's discussion talk moves. And I said to improve academic discussions in my classroom. So it archives them, but then once you've completed them, you can go back and put how many times you've done it, and also reflect on how it was, how you used it in your classroom, or did it work? Are there things you could change? So there are things that you can answer different questions, but it's just for you again. Like it's not for the administrators to go through, it's just for you. It's just for you. And then you can upload evidence for that specific to-do item if you want to. Any questions? Okay. I wanted to quickly go through that because I know a lot of people want to know about the uploading evidence or artifacts. So if we go back home, you click home to go to your dashboard. Over here it says current activities, which has the top 4 in order of the one that's coming up most recent. These are video observations that I did just for practice for this specific thing, so ignore those. If you click down here, you can see all the activities from every year. And it also, when you click that, it takes you to your Eportfolio, where you can have your evidence and ratings along with your artifacts and your activities. And we are doing artifacts. So right here it has all of the artifacts that you've uploaded to Bloomboard at any point. This is something that if you go around your classroom and just take a snapshot of something, you can just upload it and it saves it into your Eportfolio. So to upload a document, you click Upload a Document, Upload, and then you choose whichever document to open. And I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, because it shows it right here. Okay, and one thing is whenever it pops up and you're uploading the document, you cannot X out of that box that pops up and says like how much the percent is that it's completed. Because if you do that, it's not going to finish uploading, so you have to wait patiently, and sometimes it takes a pretty long time, especially if it's a video. But you do have to wait because then it will automatically open up. And for every item you do, it's the same steps. Okay, so this is different. So we did the ePortfolio. That's for, here's what I did is throughout the year, I would just go around and take pictures and I would immediately upload them at the end of the day. So that way I had all my artifacts and I would name them specifically for the domains. So later on, I didn't have to go through my classroom and, frantically find artifacts everywhere and take pictures. So, and you can always use your artifacts from your ePortfolio and use them to tag directly to an observation later on. This one is telling you how to upload artifacts directly to an observation. When they are directly uploaded to an observation, they are shared right then with whoever is the participants in the observation. Activity, in that activity screen that I showed you right here. Oops. And just click one. Well, that's not that. And you would click Artifacts. And it's the same steps of you would add a document, and it's upside down. Pictures do come in upside down, sometimes sideways, but there's nothing that you can do about that. Again, wait until they're uploaded 100% and then the box closes out. Even if it says 100%, the box is still open because it takes a few minutes for it to open up. You have to wait for that to disappear completely.
Kaci, I have a quick question. So when it's in artifacts and you upload it, but you haven't tagged it at that point?
Not yet. I haven't gone to tagging yet.
Well, I'm just saying, so if you want to, on a daily basis or regularly, put it in artifacts, you can do that and then it's not shared. Correct.
It is just, like you can go in your ePortfolio, if it's not tagged with a specific observation, that is just your toolbox to go back and use.
It's only in activities that it gets tagged.
If you upload it to a observation, that's when you can't even delete it later on. But you can go through and delete the ones that are not. So it's just like a running portfolio for you. Same thing for adding additional ones for an observation. In the corner, like I showed you here, it says add another document. And it's the same. You can upload a new artifact or link your document to something in your ePortfolio. So, I could have, and I always label mine with the domains just so I don't have to go through and get the book out and try to figure it out. But I can easily click, upload, and it's there. And it automatically will go and tag for that observation. Especially with informal observations, it's been very helpful to have that, specific, the ones that are already done. And then right here, it shows how many documents of evidence that you have uploaded for that observation. So for this informal, I had 12 artifacts specifically for that observation. Are there any questions? Any confusion?
Okay, the question that she asked. If we upload to activities, is that what she was saying? That they can be taken out, no one sees them but us?
Your ePortfolio,
Is that right?
it's right here. If you go to activities right here, and you click right here in your see this is your ePortfolio, and click artifacts, this right here is for you.
Okay.
But it also shows which, if they have been linked to something,
Okay, so if they're not linked to anything.
unless you link them.
Okay.
Yes. Is that clear? And then once they're linked, you cannot delete them. But you can delete the ones that are not. So it's just kind of storing them for later. And it keeps every single one. So when you upload a new one, you have to scroll all the way to the very bottom to find it. Okay. Okay. Okay, tagging evidence. So after you upload your documents or artifacts, if you're in your activity screen, it tells you what needs to be done, who it's required by. So if it's colored, and it's I think ours is green. Is ours green? Oh, whoops. Well, it's not going to come out in color on mine. If it's colored and it has your initials, that means it's required by you to complete. And your administrator is usually the second, their initials, and if it's colored, a box colored with them, they're required to complete it. And then it has the status. It tells you what has been done, if anything, and what has not. So it'll be blank. So when you go in, I'm just going to pull one up real quick. Let's see. If I go right here. Okay. And if it grays out, that means you've completed it. Okay, after your administrator comes in and scripts you, word for word, you are supposed to go back and they'll share the script of your observation, and then you're supposed to go back in and tag the specific indicators based on what it says. So you go through, and how you do that is you just highlight a line, and it's going to do, and then this changes over here. It changes to the same boxes that you could check earlier on for your goals. It's the rubric, and it changes where you can just click over here of what indicators it was. And each time, you have to click save. Each time you do add an indicator for that specific one. So each one that you go through has to be saved before you move along. You can add comments for them to say what it was that maybe you wanted them to see, or explain something that maybe they missed to clarify.
You can highlight a text of evidence.
I'm sorry?
You can highlight a text.
You highlight it, yes. So you take their script and you just highlight, let's see, what you want to tag, just like that. And the rubric will change to the boxes. So you go through and choose the different domains that you are going to tag, or you need. And you get very familiar with your test handbook. Very, very, very. So, I'm gonna save that. Your evidence is not shared as you tag it. So you do have to go back and share it. Click in the corner, share so that your administrator does see it on the tags. Any questions? Okay. All right. And this tells you to, for highlighting the evidence or the text, it says to highlight it, and then with it highlighted, it shows the slide panel over here and which boxes. So it tells you in detail if you need some clarification later on. And it tells you to save again. I've done that with, you'll do it with all the different evidence. I mean, it says repeat until you finish, collecting all of it. And you must save after selecting your indicators and add a comment if needed. Okay. Uploading and tagging video observations. Uploading a video does take a while. And again, it's the same thing as you would a picture or your lesson plans or whatever. You have to keep the box open until it disappears and the video pulls up. So when you upload a video, it will say, whenever I pulled that, let's see. Right here in the corner, it says upload a video. Same steps as you would a document. Click upload. Choose your video, open it, and it'll upload until the box disappears. Then to view, whoops. Okay. Once the video opens, it'll have a play button, and sometimes it's very small. It just depends on how the video is taken. You press play on the video player. And then you tag a portion of the video for evidence. So you watch it and you pause it, okay, where the evidence that you want your administrator to see. You pause it, and at the bottom, underneath it, it says add video tag. You'll click add your video tag, and I'll show you. I can do one. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Well, sorry. Okay. Okay. So here's the play button. You can't really see them, but oops. Right here underneath it, it says add video tag. So I'd click that and it pauses right where I said add video tag. And again, your Arkansas Educator rubric will open up on the side in the boxes. So you choose what it was, and I think for that part, I'm just going to say demonstrating knowledge of resources. You click the indicator. Then it says, so it's starting at 8 seconds. Now, how long do you want it to be tagged for? So if it's 5 seconds, that specific, you want her to watch that to see that 5 seconds is that indicator, then you leave it like that. You add notes if anything specific you want her to see, and you click tag video. Okay. And right here, it shows, whoops, all the different video tags. And then when I watch it, if I open it, oh, whoops, there's no sound. If you notice at the bottom in a second, if you can see it, well, you can't really see it, but it comes up with the indicators in the corner saying where, like there's 1D, 3C, 1E on where you tagged them. So they'll be able to see where you tagged those indicators and what part of the video. And just like any other artifact, to share, if you don't share it, it's not going to share to them. So you have to go back and share it so that they can access it.
And is that, in video observation, is that the same as informal observation? When you're in that mode, does it also not save unless you?
Yes, you have to, yes, you have to share it. Mm-hmm. The evidence, you always have to share. Like the tags of anything, you have to share it for them to see it. Yes. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. Same thing. Tells you specifically. That's down there. It shows the entire video on when it was tagged. So that way they can easily go through and say, oh, at 14 seconds, this was the indicator tagged. They don't have to watch the whole entire thing. They can just fast forward to 14 seconds and say, okay, here we go. Okay. So are there any Bloomboard observations specifically to the observation site questions?
I have a question, but I'm not sure if it's
Uh-huh.
right here. Is once you've had stuff in your Bloomboard
Uh-huh.
and it's been in there for a couple of years, it's just always there?
It's always there.
That's what I understand.
Mhm.
I just wanted
It is. I know that for like activities, it will, if I go to my activities, and go here, it does have at the bottom, so it does do it by year. So this one was just from June 2015 to June 2016. But at the bottom, I can show the activities from the previous years as well. So you can go back and access all of this as well. It just kind of archives them to the site.
It automatically does that.
Mine automatically did, so I think so. And it's the same for a formal observation, informal, video, the tagging, all that's the same. And I will say, the Bloomboard observation, you can't just type in bloomboard.com, but observation.bloomboard.com, the help site, if you click help in the corner, right here, it is very, 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 very helpful. Just in case, it has all different things. There's even a video. It's very helpful. So if you ever get stuck, there's quick start guides, all of that. So I always play around with things. So this is, I played around with it and realized, well, it's very helpful. So, okay. So, if you go to the slide 22, here is the new Bloomboard Marketplace link. So no longer it's not the one in the corner of your observation right now. It's not the learning recommendations. It will not be linked to this website until June 30th. It's a different website right now. So if you go to the link right here, mine might take me, and you have to create a new login. So you have to sign up, and it's free. And so in the corner it will say sign up. So if you haven't signed up and you would like, you can. Or you can do it later. I will say this is actually very, very, very useful. I love it. I'm sorry.
Does yours look different than this one?
Yeah, mine automatically logs me in.
So we would go.
But in the corner it says sign up.
So create an account or sign in?
create an account. And it asks a few questions.
This is what everybody will be using next year?
From the email that we received, yes. And I think it asks a few questions about things you're interested in.
When it links to the new one?
Huh?
When it links to the new one?
It will eventually. It's supposed to.
Can I use the same password?
Oh, I don't know that. Hold on, wait. I can figure that out for you. Oops.
Yeah.
I did link on the next slide too the support website for this because it is new. Let's see. So it says, how do I sign in somewhere?
I'm using the same one to see.
Okay. I will have to ask that question because I have no idea.
I'm just going to try it.
I would hope it would,
I use
but,
the same one
and it
as
just
I have
says,
the
because the
Bloomboard.
email I got just said try it out, just explore it to just see. Yes. Okay, good.
I don't know.
June 30th, I hope so. Yes, good.
I don't know that,
So.
but that's the information I have today.
I'll give y'all a couple minutes.
When I clicked on email, it said we would recommend you using your personal
Personal?
emails.
I use my school because it would,
I didn't do.
that's where I get my Bloomboard emails from. And one thing about this one that's different is the topics are so specific. So it's not just like a broad, domain, or, domain 3 or something. It is specifically like questioning. You can click, go in, and it's all different things, different resources that you can access for that, for just questioning. If you scroll down to topics and click see all, there are a ton of topics. So it's kind of like I guess, Twitter, the news feed on your Twitter when you first log in. It's going to have whatever you check whenever you were creating an account, what your interests are. It's going to pull up the most popular ones for those specific topics that you chose. And they're created by teachers, these resources. I played around with it and watched videos, and you can save them. You don't have to do everything right then and there. So I'm just going to go through one real quick. So if I wanted to, let's see. Okay, if I just was doing classroom arrangement, I'd click on the topic. And so you can follow them. So on your little front page when you pull it up, this was one you're following, just like Twitter, your followers. You click, and if you scroll down, there's all these collections. Just different collections. And above each of them, it tells you how many items are in each collection, which means it's not just this one you're pulling up. There are going to be 9 additional resources in this specific resource. Well, hopefully. There you go. It has 9 collection items. And the good thing about this is right here, you can click save. So if you find it interesting, you don't have time, You click save. It just puts that, and it saves that whole, all 9 of those. And you can always go back to your name, and at the bottom right here, it says your saves. And it'll pull up all the things that you went through and saved. You can do that with the specific collection items as well. Right here in the corner, you find that resource beneficial. Click save. And go to your saves.
It seems real easy to use. Like,
It's pretty easy, and it's a lot more. I mean, it was the other one I was always confused with, and it was buying credits in the books. I think this is so just quick, specific, and you can even recommend them to colleagues. I was watching the video of how to use it, introducing it, and you can recommend them like on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, everything. So if your school's into that and you find something, they can recommend it out by clicking or share. And it tells you all these. I know a lot of schools do PLCs. Y'all have a PLC specific in your, one of you finds a topic that y'all are going to be focusing on or a resource. You can share it in an email. Say, hey, read this before you come to our PLC on Thursday. And it's it's a quick way to, you don't have to carry your books in there and stuff like that.
So can you still, as an administrator, recommend this to a staff member, or as a peer, recommend it to a staff member? Right?
Oh,
Because I just
yes.
liked it before.
You can just, Gmail or email.
Well, where it says recommend, is that
It's right here in the corner.
yeah.
It says share.
What's the recommend thing? Is that
Oh,
what it
recommend.
says
Whoops, I
before?
did not mean to click that. Right here. So you're recommending it to others.
Like
Others
okay.
in, the whole, everybody using that. You're saying that's a really good resource. I'm recommending it.
It's not like
It's, I found it beneficial. And there's also discussions. Other people have discussed, different things about that. So if you want another teacher's input about it, you can just read their discussion or maybe answer it as well. You can ask your own questions. Let's see. And I would definitely recommend just whenever you have time, just playing around with it. Just seeing all the different things. The first. Okay. And right here, it says, right here you're asking about the recommended. It pulls up on the news, like my news feed about, these were recommended. And it was because I had, had the same interest for the Common Core assessments. So these ones have been recommended. And I saved, the check mark means I saved it. You just click the ad, and I can go back later and read it.
Let's try to see. Like before.
And I'll be honest, I'm not very familiar when it comes to the micro-credentials. That's something that's...
On your goals page.
Uh-huh. Yes.
You know how you could recommend this
Uh-huh.
before? Do you know if they're going to do that in this
I-
too?
I would hope so.
Okay.
Because, but I haven't had, there's not like a specific yet. Yes.
Okay.
Then, are there any questions on that? On the new Bloomboard? So June 30th, it should link, and you should be able to use it like the other one. All right. Are there any questions in general? here's my contact information if you ever need support or whatnot, just have a question. I'd be more than willing to help in any way that I can. Please feel free. And that's all.
Good job. Thank you. It's very helpful.